Three, two, one. Ah! Today we'll talk about suicides and men. Why are so many men dying by suicide? And this has been going on for decades, let's be honest. There's statistics that shock many people when they first hear it. In many countries, many men die by suicide at significantly higher rates than women. Why is that? Yet despite the numbers, the issue often receives less public discussion, than many other social problems. In other words, men are forgotten about and women have got main character syndrome. So why is this happening? Why are so many men struggling in silence? And what can be done about it? So today, we're looking at the most serious issues facing modern society. The numbers in countries such as the UK, the USA, well, it's got to be that one as well, isn't it? Australia, Canada, men account for the majority of suicide deaths. For example, in the UK, around 3/4 of registered suicide deaths are male, according to official statistics, Office for the National Statistics. This isn't a small difference. It's a major public health issue, basically, isn't it? And it's been going on for decades, and I don't think it's even being tackled, if you like. Behind every statistic is a son, father, brother, friend, or colleague. I bet you, who was watching this video now, can relate to this video, and someone that you know in your family or friends have actually committed suicide, and it's been a man. That's how high the stats are. Why men may struggle in silence? I'll say it straight away, because men have got to put up and shut up. That's as simple as that. The government want to make men weaker. It's as simple as that. One reason often discussed is that many men are less likely to talk about emotional distress. I disagree with that one. I think men are more likely to talk about emotional distress now than they used to. Like old school, they got on with it and went to work and all had the problems of the world on their shoulders, just got on with it. And to this day, that still goes on as well. Because I know myself, the way I do as well, just get on with it. But we're worried about being weak. Yes, because you share that with a female, they'll use it against you. They do. They use it against you. Some don't want to burden others, which is right, but you should talk and reach out and speak to your family members. If you don't want to speak to them, friends and family, reach out to someone you don't know. It's as simple as that. Or reach out to me. I'll reply straight away in the comments. Not a problem. Some people feel the need to solve every problem myself. That's right. That's typical men, to be honest. So as a result, problems can build for months or even years, decades, before anyone realises the pain they're carrying. Because them being points say I agree with it as well. It's just women just think it's about them. They don't even ask their man if they're happy, man. They don't even ask them, are you happy? It's all about these women. It's all about them. Me. So yeah, another one is economic pressure. Financial stress can also play a major role. Of course it can. Losing your job, being in debt, being homeless, difficulty providing for a family. Yes, many men tie a significant part of their identity to work and providing for others. Why is that? Asking, because we're providers. We provide. That's where we're born. That's where we're built. Us, at least the Disney movies talk about that. We're the stronger gender. So yes, but has the Disney movies not sort of corrupted our thought process? Say maybe not. Who knows? Why do we need to get the government involved anyway if you want to get married? No, you don't need a contract with the government to destroy you and make you weaker. They're there for the end. You're going to probably want to commit suicide, just like I fucking have in the past. Just like I have. So when all them areas collapse, it can be a devastating effect on your self-worth as a man, because you're in debt, you haven't got a job, you've lost, you lost family and friends, difficult, you can't provide for your family. and your self-worth sort of drops, so then the suicidal thoughts come in, don't they? That's what happens, it does. And I haven't even went on to the part when you find out your partner's cheating with married men, and every time you went on holiday, your ex-partner was going in other rooms with random men. I haven't started when you've got your child who's 3 or 4 going to America and stuff. I haven't started with that. I think that's a lot of reason why men... I think that's a valid reason as well. Men commit suicide when they find out their partner's cheating. Yes, they do. Yeah, they do. They do. That's the thing. Why just leave us instead of just doing what you're doing and like proper trying to drag us down the ground, discard us, gaslight us, make us feel like a piece of shit? It's just evil. So loneliness is another subject why men commit suicide. Many men have lots of men have fewer close relationships. Women chat constantly and they think they're all our friends, women, but they're not, because women bitch among each other a lot. As you get older, your social circles get smaller. So that's why the suicide rates, like in the 30s, 40s, 50s, are higher. A lot higher. Some men discover that after school, university, work changes, and there are very few people they can truly talk to, which is true. That's right. And you don't want to reach out because you're telling that person, you know, they've got a partner, they're going to repeat that partner, and that partner's going to probably repeat it to some other women, and it's a trust issue. But it's not us having a trust issue. We just don't trust other people because they're fucking like that, man. Keep that fucking cop shut. That's the problem. You know, humans are wired up to be social beings. Isolation's a massive one as well. Become dangerous. We're combined with stress, with life stresses. I mean, that could be a big one. Straight isolating, and you can turn to addictions, drugs, alcohol, both, gambling, everything. You know what I mean? That's just a few addictions I met today. So the problem is with men is, do they just need to open up? No. Women need to fucking listen more. It's as simple as that. That's what I'm saying. I've said it from experience. I've spoken to many friends who've been in the same position as me, and they've said, we should listen more. They just don't give a fuck. Right? Yeah. Many men feel also the need for advice where they feel genuinely heard and appreciated, and so they don't get appreciation of their partner. They don't, so they seek out therapy elsewhere, to their mum or their family members, their friends, you know. It's not just going for a pint, it's not the alcohol, going to a pub. It's to get a load off your fucking chest, you know. See, that's a problem. Women, they think the world revolves around them. They're so self-centered brats. They're just fucking... I sometimes think they're set out to destroy men. I really think that, Jezebels. You know? Do you know what I mean? And you don't really... Because in that state of mind, you don't think your partner cares. And she may not. I don't fucking know. Obviously, she doesn't want you to go and commit suicide, but... You know, when they're not listening and it's always about them, what's inevitably going to happen? You're going to inevitably be feeling like that, a man, and inevitably going to probably attempt to commit suicide. It's just going to happen, you know. So, researchers and mental health professionals point to several protective measures. Strong friendships, family support. Family support is the number one for me. That's massive. Because if I didn't have my mum, I don't think I'd be here today. I don't think I would. You know, I only got my mum and my daughter. That's who I've got in my life. No one else. You know, I've got other family members I respect and love, but I've got other family members that I despise and hate. Not hate, I pity them. You know. So yes, coping mechanisms is having strong relationships, family support, community involvement, going to the gym. Exercise is excellent for this. I mean, it's combated my depression over the years, you know, when I knew my partner at the time was cheating and doing what she wasn't wanting. And, you know, I stayed for my daughter, and And Emily, I did want to string myself up because that's what these type of women do to you. You know, then they play the victim. Say, oh, I've loved them and all that. No, you've fucking seen fucking dozens and dozens of that men. You know, having access to mental health care therapy for the man. There's another one. My ex, I've got my daughter who is a psyche nurse, and she's been deliberately fucking up appointments. I'm trying to get face-to-face appointments. I've always had face-to-face just because I want to seek therapy again when I'm not with her. She's been messing me appointments up and because she's got she works at psyche nurse, where the place where you get referred for talking therapies. She's been messing me appointments up 100%. I'm not making lies up, it's true. And also, she doesn't want us to get face-to-face therapy. It's always telephone now. Aye. And I was on the verge of committing suicide, and she knew that and still done that. This is what you're dealing with, evil. You know, physical activity, going to the gym, yeah, a sense of purpose and belonging. A sense of purpose that is massive. You could religion, playing football with your mates, you know what I mean? Playing gaming with friends online, you know, stuff like that. You know, making money online, e-commerce, or open a business, you know, so you can pay for your daughter's university fees, you know, that's just stuff like that. I think that, whatever fits you, got to think what you like doing, stuff like that. A new hobby, MMA, traditional jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, something like that. You don't have to compete, just get the grades, you know. But obviously, none of them guarantee safety because they're just the defence mechanisms, and you've got to work at that and try and, you know, talk about your feelings, talk about it, you know, don't feel you're weak. But personally, I would never talk about my feelings to a female again. Never in a million years. Because they use it against you. And it's like as if they want you to commit suicide. That's how I felt in the past, and I still do to this day. You know? So, yeah, it's what you put in and how much you get out of it yourself. So, men's suicides aren't just an issue, are they? It's a family issue. But obviously women think they're the main character, so they just don't want to listen to you. You know, when I broke down crying years ago, about 15 years ago, oh, do you want to just get a place, I'll move you out, you move out. You know, like that, that's the response I got. You get a flat somewhere and move out. I actually trying to get rid of us, because I'd found out a couple of months earlier she was starting to have an affair with a married man. Aye, called Sean Doyle from Edmund. Yeah, Sean Doyle, yeah. So, yeah, do you know what I mean? So, it is what it is. You're going to be feeling suicidal. I'll talk to you. You can know my socials on Kick. TikTok, you can DM us on TikTok. You know, it's the same username. That's on my Kick and on my YouTube. So, you're feeling suicidal, reach out and speak to someone, you know. Because it's not, the goal isn't about arguing and stuff like that. It's about getting off your chest, you know. What it is when a man shows his emotion and is unhappy about his partner, the woman switches it up if it's a man's fault. That's the problem. And the man goes inside himself and thinks, what's the point even speaking about it no more? I'm just getting barriers up. Because the woman doesn't want to listen. Because these women think they're perfect for some reason in their head, think they're main character syndrome, and they just don't want to hear anything that their partners wants to get off their chest. So what inevitably happens, the partner wants to string yourself up, commit suicide. It's as simple as that. So yeah, you know, I'm not saying it all. It's all down to females, partners. It's not their fault, but listened a bit more, didn't switch it round on the male partner so they can't speak no more. It's so frustrating and so gets you so down and low. These women are just pure fucking evil. It's as simple as that. Not all of them, 99% of them, you know. It's as simple as that, you know. You know what I mean? The goal is to understand why people are suffering and how they can help. But these women switch it up because they know what you want to talk about. Not very well, but they're taken as a defensive, having to go at them. It's not, because you know what they're up to. And he's speaking about it, and they turn around and say, oh, well, you're having an affair, or you're imagining it. That's the response I got. You're imagining it. Like if I was making it up. Aye. Aye. So you can wonder how much the head fuck I was wanting, like, she was making out, oh, a psyche nurse making out I was delusional. I mean, that's some level of evilness, isn't it? So now you know why most men, I'm not saying for all cases, want to commit suicide. Because the partner doesn't want to fucking listen, and they just want to fucking that cake and eat it and do what they want and walk over all other men, meet them weaker. And there's laws. The courts back the women up and don't back the men up. It's as simple as that. Women can make false allegations and lie and get caught out of being false allegations, still have no accountability and consequences. So, yeah, but we won't look at them stats, will we? What are the reasons why fundamentally men are committing suicide? I'd argue it's a high percentage just because of their partner's not listening to them. Or that he knows that she's cheating and doesn't want to leave, because they've got kids together or a child, and they want to bring the child up as best they can. You know, that's a difference. Women will break up their family just for them to make them happy, for their happiness, where a man will stay in a dysfunctional family, right, and fight for their family, for his kids, and won't leave for his own happiness. Yeah, that's the top and bottom of it. Maybe men should be more selfish. Or is it selfish? I don't know. What do you think in the comments? So you know anyone who's struggling, suicide or suspect? Talk to them one-to-one, you know. But be very, very wary, men. Be very, very wary what you're telling your girlfriend or your wife or your soon-to-be engaged girlfriend or whatever. Because, honestly, I've spoken to a lot of my friends and they've told me the same thing. They've used it against them. The female, when they've opened up and told them what's the problem, the woman have just turned it around and used it against them later on. I mean, it's like women are like actively seeking men to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's a case, but it looks that way, doesn't it? Catch you on the next one.